I'm going to start by laying this wig. This is a water wave wig, but I really like how it looks when it's dry. When it's dry and it's poofy and it's big, I really like it like this. But I don't hate the curls. I don't hate how it looks when I define the curls. I just really like when it's poofy. I really like when it's poofy. So I'm going to lay this wig quickly. It doesn't have lace at the sides, and I like that a lot because I've told you guys I don't like it, or I don't like the feeling of having the hair stuck to my sides. I hate that feeling. There's a particular wig I have that if I don't lay the sides, it's gonna look weird, but that feeling of having it stuck to my sides, I don't like it. So yeah, when I saw this one doesn't have lace on the sides, I was like, yeah, I like it. So I'm gonna lay it quickly. I don't think this is gonna be the video where I show you guys exactly how I lay my wigs, because this one is very easy. I think I'll do that with a different wig so that you guys can see the process. The other wigs that have like proper lace, I can show you with those ones, but this one is so easy to lay, so I actually don't have to do much. Just need to put the glue at the top only. It doesn't have to be that serious. It's not that serious with this wig. The other wigs I have to actually put in effort for them to actually look good. Like the maroon one I had worn in my previous vlog, that one I actually have to put in effort for it to look nice and something I can actually wear out of the house if I'm not wearing like a headband, because sometimes I wear headbands and I don't feel like laying my wigs. I'm just gonna lay this very quickly and then we'll get into my makeup. I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to do my makeup, like my everyday makeup routine. I'm trying to come up with a new everyday makeup routine. I was going through my videos from the past and I had posted an everyday makeup routine back then as well, and it made me want to figure out how exactly I would do my makeup right now, especially because it's a new year. And if you know me, you know I like transforming. Like I like finding new routines. I like finding new ways to do my hair. That's why I'm always wearing like so many different colors of wigs, because I can be a different person every day but still at the core be myself, you know. I just like how with wigs you can look different every single day. I like that so much. Like I know this particular wig makes me, I feel like I look very young when I have this wig on, but the other wigs give me more of like a mature look. And yeah, I find it so interesting how much hair can change your entire look. And I think makeup as well can change how you look depending on how you do it. So I want to kind of change my makeup. Honestly, the possibility of me looking the same is very high. The possibility of the makeup just looking the same is very high. But normally, like when I'm going to work, I usually just put on like the tint, the Maybelline tint, what is it called? Skin tint, the skin tint. Normally I just put that on and then I'll put on blush and then mascara, and that will be it for me when I'm going to work. I don't normally like having a lot going on when I'm going to work, but like I want a makeup routine that I will use on other days when I'm not at work. And maybe when I go to work, maybe some days I can do it, but honestly that's probably not gonna happen because I don't know, there's something about having makeup at work. It's just like when I was in school, and I talked about it in that video actually. The video I'm telling you guys I watched, the everyday makeup routine I posted in the past. I remember mentioning that I didn't really like having makeup in school, and I think it's the same as work. I want to put on makeup, but I don't want to put on too much. Yeah, I think even back then I said I probably just put on like mascara and lip gloss or something like that. It's just not, I don't know. It's not me. It's not something Makena would do, honestly. So yeah, I'm gonna let this dry for a bit and then I'll put the lace down and then I'll be back to continue with my makeup. Usually when I'm putting on the other wigs, I put on 2 coats of glue, but with this one I don't see a need. The lace is so easy to work with, so I don't think I need to do all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna let this dry down until it's almost clear, and then I will be back to continue with my makeup. Bye. I'm going to start with primer, but you guys, I don't believe in primer. I normally don't use primer. I don't see the need. But that's just me. I just don't see the need of using a primer. I feel like your skincare routine is what's going to determine how your makeup sits, not your primer. That's just me though. That's just me. But I genuinely don't think I believe in like the results people say primer gives you. I feel like your skincare routine is what determines how your makeup sits. And I'm going to stand by that. Normally I don't even use a primer. I normally just literally depend on my skincare routine. But it's not like something I hate or anything like that. It's just that I don't see the need. That's just me though. I don't think I normally use primer ever. Like even when I'm doing my makeup for my Instagram, I normally don't use primer. I just go straight into... It's so windy today. But it's not like something I hate or anything like that. I mean, I own it. If I hated it or something like that, I don't think I would own it. I believe in my skincare more than I believe in my primer. That's what it is actually. But I really like this particular primer, the Maybelline primer. I actually don't hate it. I don't hate it. I remember when I started doing my makeup, I never even used to use foundation. I used to just do eyeshadow and I used to have concealer. But I never had a foundation. And when I started using foundation, I never got a primer. I never used to use a primer back then either. I think I thought about getting a primer recently, honestly. But I really like that one. I actually like how it sits. And the whole point of a primer is it's supposed to be tacky. And this one is tacky, but I've seen tackier primer. I've seen, like, I think it's the Milk primer. Your skin literally feels like sticky, and that's what's supposed to, I guess, hold your foundation. But this one isn't. It's tacky, but it's not as tacky as other primers I've seen, but I like it. But considering I don't even use primer, I don't mind it. It's not something that's like a consideration for me when I'm getting a primer, because I barely use it anyway. But I'm gonna go into my skin tint next. The next thing I'll use is the Maybelline skin tint. I don't know why I keep forgetting that name. I have no idea why. But I'm going to use a skin tint next. I think this shade is the closest I've gotten to finding my actual like foundation shade. Normally I feel like I either go too light or too dark, but I think this actually matches me really well, and that's why I really like using it. Like even when I'm doing my makeup for my Instagram, this is what I use because of the shade match. The shade match is really good, and also I like that it's not matte. I don't hate matte foundations, but I feel like, especially for an everyday makeup routine, I would prefer using a skin tint, or rather using something that's not matte. So I'm gonna use this next, and I'm gonna try and not use too much because usually I end up using so much. Just gonna focus it there, then I'll spread it around. I'd suggest not using the applicator on your skin because you have to put it back inside, and that usually contaminates the product. But this is me, and I already done it like from the day I got it, so it's too late to think about whether it's contaminated or not. Because the day I got it, I actually vlogged it. I used it directly on my face. I'm gonna blend this out with a brush. I used to blend out my foundation with a sponge, but I think that changed a long time ago. I stopped using sponges to blend out my foundation. Even my concealer, I blend it out with a brush first, and then I use a sponge just for the finish, to get a good finish. I don't know where my brush has gone. Oh, it's right here. It's right here, Makena. I'm going to blend this out all over with the brush. The brush also doesn't pick up product as much as a sponge does. A sponge takes away so much product, and that's part of the reason why I stopped using a sponge to blend out my foundation and switched it out for a brush. You guys can see that shade match. It's very, very close. My other foundations were either too light or too dark, like especially on the forehead. That's literally almost a perfect match. It could actually be a perfect match. If you want to get your shade correctly, the best way is to match it like on this part of your face, like closer to your neck. That is how you'll probably get the closest match to your skin tone. For my contour, usually I use this Maybelline concealer as contour, and I use this when I'm doing my makeup for my Instagram because I like having very defined contour when I'm doing makeup for my Instagram, because those looks are usually very dramatic, so I want the entire look to be dramatic. So normally I'll use this one, but for my everyday makeup routine, I think I'd rather go in with this shade over here. It looks very dark on the palette, but when I put it on my face, it doesn't show up too much. It's something I'm going to wear every day. I don't want something that's very strong, if that makes sense. So I think I'd rather go in with this shade just because it doesn't show up too much on my skin. But I think actually before I do that, I'm going to do my concealer first. Just scratch that. I'm going to start with my concealer and then I'll go into my contour. Before contouring, I'm going to first conceal. This is the Maybelline something concealer. I'm going to put it on the screen. And this is in the shade number 30. Shade number 30, you probably can't see that, but this is shade 30. I'm going to use that first before I go into my contour, and I'm going to just focus that on that area and basically on my T-zone. This is called the T-zone, yeah? Yeah, I think it's called the T-zone. I'm going to focus it on that area. And usually when I'm doing my other makeup, I'll also take the concealer on these sides, but that's when I want to define my contour. And also when I'm doing my makeup for my Instagram, again, normally I'll start with my contour and then I'll go into concealer so that I can really give myself a very sharp look, because that's what I like when I'm doing my Instagram makeup. But for my everyday makeup look, I'd prefer something softer. I don't want something that's so defined. I want to have like a softer look. So I'm going to start with concealer and then I'll go into my contour after that. I started blending out my concealer with a brush, like I said earlier, because I like the finish more than the finish of a sponge. And also because, like I said, sponges pick up product. They take out so much product and you end up not actually having like proper coverage. So I like blending out my concealer with a brush, and then maybe if I want to get like a good finish, I'll go in with a sponge, but most times I actually just use the brush and that's enough. And then once I've done my contour and my blush, I'll go in with a lighter concealer. That's just to brighten up my under eyes a bit more. I'm just going to blend this out and then I'll proceed with my blush and then I'll go into contour. That's something I learned from TikTok, starting with your blush and then going into contour. So like they sit like blush and then contour. Yeah, I think I saw that on Instagram and I actually quite liked the finish. So I'm going to do that once I'm done blending this out. Just realized I haven't done my brows, so I'm gonna do my brows next. For my brows, I usually use like just regular eye pencil, like the regular ones, the ones that are very common. You know, the ones that we've used forever, like forever and ever. The one we've seen since we were literally children. Like I feel like I've seen these liners or these eye pencils since I was literally a child. Like, you know, the regular ones. This one has been through quite a bit. It's cracked around here, but this is a regular eye pencils. They're the ones I use to do my eyebrows. They work very well. I think that's something we can all agree on. So this is the kind of why am I forgetting the name? Eyebrow pencil, eye pencil. Yeah, it's the one I use. It's the one I've always used since I started doing my makeup. I've thought about trying other ones, but I never actually get to it. But this is what I'm gonna use to do my eyebrows. Yep. I actually prefer using this shade, this lighter one. So I think I'm gonna use this one. You can clearly tell by the size of it that this is the shade I like using. So I'm actually going to use this one instead of this other one. This one is darker than this other one. Yeah, I prefer this shade to this one for my eyebrows. I don't like the look of dark eyebrows, even though when I started doing my makeup and before actually when I was trying to learn, oh my gosh, if I find a picture I can insert it because my eyebrows are literally black boxes. That's what they were. But I'm going to quickly sharpen this and do my eyebrows. The way I do my brows has changed quite a bit. I actually think when it comes to my brows, I've had like phases. There's a phase when I liked the very loud brows, the black ones, and then at some point it became fluffy brows, and then now I like almost like it's almost straight. It doesn't really have an arch to it. It kind of does, but it's not very pronounced, but not a very distinct arch to it. I actually cut my brows. I shaved them quite a bit. I made them quite small just so that I can make them more straight when I'm doing them. So I like a skinnier brow that's more straight. I like how it looks on my face, but I prefer that look compared to the way I used to do it. It's almost like, yeah, that motion, yeah, that's the direction I do my brows in these days, which is very different to where it started. If I find that picture, I'll show it to you guys because it's so hilarious how I used to do my brows, and I can't believe I used to walk around with them looking like that because that's scary. And I don't really feel it in too much. So I kind of still like the feathery look, like the soap brow thing, but just not as crazy as I used to do it. Kind of like that. It's not very filled in, and it's also very straight. That's a very straight brow. And instead of using concealer to cut the bottom or to shape the bottom part, I actually use foundation. I stopped using concealer. For my blush, and this is going to seem very crazy, but I use lip gloss. I use lip gloss for my blush. I use this gloss as blush because I like the shade. I actually have blush, but I really like this shade, so it's the one I use as my blush. It's literally lip gloss, but I'm going to use, is it lip gloss or is it a matte? It's actually, yeah, it's matte. It goes matte once it dries. That's why I know I can use it, because if it was actually gloss, then my face would just be oily. So this is matte lip gloss, which is very interesting because can gloss be matte? Gloss literally can't be matte, so probably this is a matte lipstick. Gloss can't be matte. It doesn't make sense. The whole point of gloss is that it's glossy, so I think this is a matte lipstick. So this is what I use as my blush. So I'm just gonna put on a little bit. It has a lot of pigment to it, so I don't want to put too much. Once I blend it out, you guys will see why I use it as blush. It's a very pretty color. I'm just gonna blend that out very quickly before it dries out, and then I'll move to my contour. If it dries down, I won't be able to spread it around, so I have to be very, very fast with spreading it out. It has a lot of pigment, so so usually I don't use a lot. I feel like this time I've actually used too much, and I don't understand why there's so many aeroplanes passing, and they only pass when I have a video to film. Normally they're not there. I may have put too much, so I'm gonna use a sponge to blend it out more. For my contour, I showed you guys this palette, but I think I'm gonna use the Maybelline concealer, the same one I used, but now in the shade number 55. This is darker. I'm going to use this for my contour instead because I've used a liquid blush. If I use that contour, I fear I may end up taking away the product from my face because I have to use a brush to like put it on. I have a very bad feeling if I use this palette, which is actually a concealer palette. I'm just realizing it's a concealer palette. If I use this, I'm afraid I'm going to end up taking out the blush, so I'm gonna use this instead because it's a liquid product. Because it's a liquid product, I feel like this is easier to manage than the cream product. I think if I put on that cream contour before using the blush, then maybe it'll be fine. But I have a feeling if I use it after I've used liquid blush, I'm going to end up taking out product from my face. So I'm going to use this instead. And why does it look like it's running out? Do I have another one? I think I have another one somewhere. This one looks like it's running out. I'm going to focus the product below the blush, but this isn't dark enough. This is annoying me actually. Should I just use the other one? The one I was telling you guys I use when I'm doing my other makeup looks. I feel like I have another one somewhere that's darker than this. Just give me a second. I actually had a new one in my product, so that's good because the other one was not showing up. That's showing up a bit more, and I've just put it on my hair. Great. I need other clips to hold my hair back. I got these clips when I went to Germany, and I had been looking for them for a very long time. So when I saw them there, I made sure I got them, and I got 6 of them for situations like this when I need to put back my hair. The product is getting on my hair. That is annoying. Focusing the product below the concealer, the blush, and I put some on my nose as well. I stopped being so focused on shaping my nose with contour, so I just put it on my nose to bring back the dimension, because when you use concealer takes away dimension, and foundation as well. So that's the whole point of actually using contour and blush and all of that, is to bring back dimension to your face. I think I'm going to put a little bit on my jaw as well. And I'm going to blend that out with a brush. Again, I do everything with a brush. I'm gonna focus the product below the blush. I'm gonna try and not mix them together too much, but also make sure there's not like a sharp difference between the two. And now your damaged goods, damage should have never been. Thought you were bulletproof, look at you, what happened? Did she hurt you? Are you okay, baby? I've added just a little bit more blush because I feel like the contour is kind of drowning it out. So I'm just adding in a bit more blush to make it a bit more visible. The pigment on that lip whatever is very strong. The pigment is very strong. I'm thinking maybe it would be best to actually start with the contour and then go in with the blush. Now that I think about it, the way colors work, if I use the darker one after the lighter one, the darker one is going to take over the lighter one for sure. So that's a mental note for the next time I do, or the next time I use this method. I'm going to start with the contour and then go into the blush. I'm using a smaller brush to blend out the contour on my nose because I need to focus the product on a particular area. If I use a bigger brush. I don't have much control, but with smaller brushes it's easier to get back the control. My face looks extremely warm right now, and that's where the other concealer comes in. I'm going to use other concealer to just reduce the warmth a little bit, because my face is looking very, very warm right now. That's why I go in with the concealer again. I think I'm actually going to start with the concealer I used earlier and then go in with the lighter one after, just to lighten my face a bit, because I'm looking very warm right now.
You're alone, you're on my phone, running game. But maybe, baby, when it settles in,
Y'all can see the difference adding the concealer once more has done. You can see the difference the concealer has done with reducing the warmth on my face, because my face was looking very, very warm. The concealer brings back some brightness to my face. So I think maybe another mental note, next time when I'm doing this makeup routine, I can actually do the concealer after I've done my contour and my blush. And that's normally what I do, but anyway, or maybe the double concealing isn't a bad idea, because I have very intense eye bags, so maybe it's not a very bad thing. But the concealer has definitely helped quite a bit. If you look at the two sides, the side that I've blended out and the side I haven't, this looks very nice. It looks very, very nice. I'm going to add that concealer here as well, a little bit, just to reduce the warmth on my nose as well, because it's there on my nose as well. And I'm going to use a very small brush to blend it out. I think maybe this one. Oh, this has foundation on it. I'm going to use a different one. Why can't I find my brushes? Yeah, I'm going to use this one. This flat edged brush, I'm going to use this to blend that out, so that I can focus the concealer where exactly I want it.
just to die. And now your damaged goods, damaged should have never been. Thought you were bulletproof.
Next, I'm going to set my face, and I'm going to be using the Sacha Buttercup setting powder. I'm not going to lift it, because if I lift it, it's gonna get everywhere, and it's already getting everywhere. I don't like that. It's getting on my clothes, and I'm wearing black, and it's literally a powder. I'm going to use very little of the Sacha Buttercup setting powder, because this is similar to primer for me. I don't like setting my face, honestly. I don't really care about looking oily or anything like that. It's not something I'm worried about. So normally I don't even set my face. I usually just leave it as is, and I'm thinking maybe even now I leave it as is, because I just know I'm going to hate it when I use that powder. But I'll just use it. It's fine. Let me just have hope that it will look different today. As if I've never used it before, I know how it's gonna look. But I'm just gonna spread out the concealer a little bit more, make sure there are no creases, and then I'll go in with the setting powder. I know the setting powder is also supposed to help with creasing, but that's another thing I don't really care about. Like, your face is gonna crease. Like, you already have creases in your face. Like, the fact that my eyes have these lines at the bottom is a guarantee that my concealer is going to crease. Like, literally, it's part of my face. I'm using a bit of the powder, and I'm going to actually tap off the excess, because I honestly don't like setting powder. And this setting powder is literally, it's the banana shade. I think it's banana, yeah. And I just have a feeling I'm going to hate this, but I'm still going to do it. Just hope for the best. Okay. I actually don't hate that, but I feel like if I add more, yep, I'm gonna hate it now because I've added more. it leaves your face kind of yellow. I don't know how much I like that. Yep. I just knew it. Let me see if I can make it work, because usually I honestly just make things work. Wait, it's not bad. It's not terrible, but it's honestly not something I would do for my everyday makeup routine. But it's actually not, Makena, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually not that bad. It's actually not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad, and that's all that matters. I don't know, I feel like it's taken away so much of the brightness I had put on there. So I think I'd rather buy another setting powder if I'm going to be someone who uses setting powder, because like I've said, I don't really use it. I think the next time I'll get powder that's brighter than this and is not literally yellow. It's making my face seem yellow now. It's making my under eyes rather seem a bit yellow.
All the plans you made in your heart grew just to die.
I've tried to play around with the setting powder, but I really don't like it. I don't like it. I'm going to have to get, I know there's a lighter one. The Sacha Buttercup setting powder has a lighter shade. I'd prefer if it wasn't yellow. I don't even know what I was thinking buying it, honestly. I'd prefer a brighter setting powder to maintain the brightness I had brought to my face, because now it's made my face quite yellow. That's annoying me, but it's fine. We're just gonna go on. I'm gonna move on to my eyes. I'm going to start by using the same concealer I use for my contour, and then I'll move on to using eyeshadow. I like the look of brown eyeshadow, especially for like an everyday makeup routine where I don't want too much happening. I think I'd prefer having brown eyeshadow. I'm just gonna blend this out, and then I'll use a shade that's very similar to that concealer shade I've put down, because I like that shade on my eyes. Anytime I'm going anywhere and I feel like I want to put on some eyeshadow, I always use a brown eyeshadow, because I think it's very pretty, especially when you're just gonna do mascara afterwards. It makes it look like you've put in more effort than you actually have on your eyes. Usually I focus the eyeshadow mainly on this part of my eye. I don't really bring it down here, and even if I do, it's very lightly. But my focus is on these areas, because when I lift my eye, it makes it look like there's so much depth to your eye when you focus it on this area. But that also depends on your eye shape, because for my eye shape, if I focus it on these areas, once I open up my eyes, it makes it look like this dimension, like this depth over there. So usually I focus the product over here, and then at the bottom is just like using the whatever has remained on the brush, but my focus is usually on these areas. I added brown eyeliner on my waterline. I couldn't record that because I have to be in a very strategic position to be able to add eyeliner on my waterline, and it's not cute, so I did that off camera. But I added brown eyeliner on my waterline over here to make my eyes seem a bit darker, just to add something to my lower lash line, because I don't plan on adding any like foundation, eyeshadow on that area of my eye. So the next thing I'm going to do is mascara, and I'm going to start by using an eyelash curler. I've never been a big user of eyelash curlers. I think it's just recently I started using an eyelash curler. I think I used it in my previous vlog as well. So I'm gonna use this, and then I'm gonna put on, I was about to say foundation, mascara. I'm going to put on mascara after that. For my mascara, I'm using the Maybelline I'm just gonna insert the name on the screen, but it's a Maybelline mascara. I really like this. It makes my eyelashes very long, and it doesn't, my lashes don't clump up when I use it. So I really like this one. I also like how long the wand is, the applicator part. I like how it looks, like the way it's shaped and the length. I like it a lot.
Never been. Thought you were bulletproof. Look at you. What happened? Did she hurt you? Are you okay, baby? Everyone gets hurt. That's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life.
For my lip combo, I'm going to start by using this lip liner. It's a bit darker, and then I'll go in with this reddish lip liner. It's the LA Colors lip liner. I don't know what shade this is. I sharpened off the shade number, but it's kind of like a maroonish lip liner, and then I'll show you what I'll do after that.
Must hear. I wrote a lullaby for you.
Next, I'll use this gloss that I got a while back. I vlogged myself unboxing this gloss once. I remember very well. I haven't used it in a while, so I'm gonna use this on the inner parts of my lips, the parts that I haven't put the liner on. After that, I'll use a clear gloss around the edges of my lips, and then in the center I'll use a pink gloss because that's the area that has the pink gloss.
That you're to blame. We could move on, pick up where we went wrong, baby. Everyone gets hurt. That's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life. But
The pink gloss I'm using on the inner parts is the Maybelline lip gloss, Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade number 5.
makeup stained sheets and tear-soaked cheeks, desperate for the dawn to bring back dignity. Time and time again I relapse, but love has never left me. Perhaps I should have found a way to pay it back. But forget what you take, only take enough to swallow the pain. Drown the pain until it all wash away. From the night to the day you dream, you forget our mistake. It becomes another habit to break. I'll replay it till the guilt turns to shame. From the night to the day you dream like who needs a heart that tears apart? Ruminating cycles me back at the start. Time and time again I relapse, but your love is always waiting. Perhaps I can't save myself, so I fade to black. But forget what you take, only take enough to swallow the pain. Drown the pain until it all wash away. From the night to the day you
This is the completed look. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. It's actually something I would wear when I'm leaving the house, just not to work. Not to work, because I know for a fact if I do my makeup when I'm going to work, I'm going to get irritated at some point in the day. I just know it. I know myself very well. It's just the same as school. If I put on makeup when I was going to school, at some point in the day I'd get so upset. I'd be very irritated at the fact that I have makeup on my face. But if I'm going out for like lunch, to meet up with my friends, or if I'm just going out, I think this is actually something I would do. It's very pretty. I can't get over how pretty it is. And I know I said I hate the setting powder, but I take it back. I actually like how it looks. It looks very nice with the completed look. Maybe because I wasn't done with the look, it was looking a bit crazy. But now with everything together, it looks very nice. So I take back all the trash talking. I take it back. I take it back. I'm sorry, I take it back. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I had really missed doing this kind of videos, and I intend on doing more of them as the year goes on. I actually just intend on creating more this year. I know last year we're not going to talk about it, but I intend on being a little bit more consistent, obviously keeping in mind that I have other responsibilities that I have during the week. So anytime I get the opportunity to create, I'm going to create. So y'all can expect more videos this year for sure. I think last year I put out like 4 videos, which is crazy. 4 videos an entire year is crazy, Makena. That's crazy. But yeah, this year I intend on putting out more content, more sit-down videos like this, not just vlogs. So yeah, I think you guys can look forward to that, and I'm very excited actually. I'm excited to create some more this year. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.